those, and then much later, after the emotional part, I was like, well, Bono would be very happy with me, you know. So yeah, whenever we're doing that song live, if we can, you know, if we're having a fun group of people, we'll probably jump into that, you know.
And so what, 2 years out of your full-time job now?
Yeah, 2 years
You're
out.
Still alive?
July 2005 was when I officially quit my full-time job and pursued music. So yeah, so it's a little over 2 years now that I've been doing that, and yeah, I mean, you know, not overly emaciated or anything, so
a lot of peanut butter sandwiches later.
Exactly, you know, maybe a little mustard in there. Not on the peanut butter, but although, no, I'm just kidding. So, but yeah, you know, things, I feel very fortunate. This year especially has just been incredible with the opportunities and tons of people just willing to reach out and help, fans helping, people offering to do certain things, helping with booking, other artists that I've been able to play along with, to go on tour with, and just, yeah.
MySpace, you're rocking the MySpace, man.
Yeah, MySpace has just been awesome. It's just to be able to reach so many people in the US and the UK and Australia, just, you know, other countries here, and just like being able to contact some people and just see it all the way to completion, where it's like, you start off by contacting them, figuring out what kind of music they like. You're like, oh, there's a chance. And then you contact them. They contact you back. They're liking the stuff that you're doing, all the way through buying a CD and actually meeting them in person after I get through playing a show in Louisville, Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty surreal how all of that stuff can come together. And it's been working, and it seems like it's working better than ever now. And so
I looked on your page, and it said you had 32,000 fans. Be honest, of those 32,000 fans, how many are like in the Matt Jones community?
And gosh, you know,
like, you're not talking to 32,000 people a week,
I'm certainly not.
I mean, I'm impressed. Don't get me wrong.
Sure. I'm certainly not talking to 32,000 people on a daily basis. I would say a fraction of that. Like maybe a couple hundred people really stay in touch and really get involved in community, and I mean, have signed up to receive text messages whenever I'm playing in a certain place, or just to get updates on whenever I'm playing, and really check back all the time and ask me, you know, like, how did my weekend go, you know. And so it's like, besides being fans, they're also friends, you know. Maybe friends is a good word for them. I don't exactly know how to say, like, you know.
I think you might have just invented it.
I know, right? Yes, I'm like, you guys are my friends. So, or else it's like I'm in the valley in my hometown. You guys are my friends. Anyway, so, but yeah, so, but you know, not that I'd be against trying my best to communicate with, you know, all 32,000 people, but we'll see. You know, I'm gonna try to do that as long as I can before you know, I lose all track of time to do that. So, which hopefully that'll be never, but.
Well,
see what happens.
You sort of have taken the summer off. You didn't really, I know that you say you're from Albuquerque, but I don't think you actually spent any time in Albuquerque in the last...
Right, yeah.
Well, maybe you'd come into town and play, but I think your address was probably your license plate.
Absolutely.
So,
that was earlier this year, man. We cruised from Dallas all the way up to Vancouver in British Columbia, and then came back for a couple weeks, and then went from Dallas all the way up to Chicago to Madison, like... then all the way over to Indiana and Nashville and other places in the South. And it was great because we'd never been there before.
Sure.
You know, and so we did that Rock the House tour, which, I mean, talk about getting bare bones. I mean, we may have been playing in this garage, except it would have been in, you know, in Jackson, you know, Mississippi. And so it was really cool to see people on that level and just get to meet them and feel like you were actually building community at the same time. And so I've seen more of the country than I've ever seen before this year. And yeah, that was for 6 weeks, and the one before that was for about 4 and a half. And so yeah, it was a good almost solid 3 months on the road for sure. And then finally came back here and played some festivals, and been working on songs, and you know, that's why I was just out in Austin recording.
Yeah.
So
for Passerby, you say?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's one of the projects. That's actually the main project that we're working on, but I have a lot of other songs that I've been writing, not on my acoustic guitar, on my electric guitar. And so that's going to be another project that we're working on that, you know, God willing, if we can get everything out before Christmas, we would love to do that, but that's really ambitious. So I'm just going to try to keep writing, you know, staying creative. I read a lot of people's blogs and stuff like that when I'm, you know, because sometimes I'll I'll be writing a song, I'll start a song. Well, for example, I started this song called Anybody For Me, and this is one that's on the new record. It has a very solemn tone to it, and when I started writing it, it was, you know, it comes out of a very desperate place, but you know, when I went out to Austin, I still was needing a second verse for the song, and kind of trying to continue, but I wasn't in a desperate place anymore. And so honestly, like, in order to capture that creativity, I went through and tried to like read some people's blogs and get experiences of what they had been going through when they were in a similar situation as what I was in, and it really helped a lot. You know, it helped me kind of get back to that spot. And so, you know, so maybe it was one of the 32,000 people that I never talked to, and I just happened to check their blog that day and just be like, oh man, y'all went through a rough time. So, but you know, it helps out.
What's the song called?
It's called Anybody For Me. Yeah. Play a little bit of the first chorus or first verse and the chorus. See if I can do it here.
The sun is low, it stretches over. It lights our faces like the clouds. My heart is close enough to touch yours, but just as my hand reaches out, I remember you're a city away, and all my love is left to memories that fade. Is there anybody waiting? Anybody thinking? Anybody holding out hope for me? Is there anybody wishing that even through the sorrow they might find a reason to see? Is there anybody for me? Is there anybody for me?
Anyway, so that's kind of, you know, a little bit of a peek into that tune right there, which, you know, probably easily incorporates into live, you know.
I can't believe the news today.
Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But anyway,
So
certain
how-
things that you notice.
When
Sorry.
you were saying you incorporate it to live, does that mean like when you have obviously a studio version, but then when you are playing it live, you try to
Right.
make
Well, I
it
realized so
re-
much later that I had a different chord progression that was a lot more intricate than that, and I like the simplicity of those three chords just being in the verse, because I was like, it describes the bare bones feeling that you feel when you're just you feel like maybe there's nothing or no one out there for you. So decided to keep those, and then much later after the emotional part, I was like, well, Bono would be very happy with me, you know. So yeah, whenever we're doing that song live, if we can, you know, if we're having a fun group of people, we'll probably jump into that, you know.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Love it.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Anyway, so
Hey, that was good. Man.
that's, you know, that's part of us being goofballs. You know, it's like it'll kind of just depend on the night. You know, some nights that song will mean a lot, and you know, I'll be in a spot where I really feel it, and other nights I'm like, hey, here's a song that we play that we like playing, and we're gonna go into another song that I like listening to, so we're gonna play that one too. So
Well, that brings up something that I'm really interested in, and that's like for Bob Marley, for example, in a lot of his tunes, when he ends a concert, he plays like, or his sons, for example, they play like 3 or 4 songs in a row, and you can't, like, there's no stopping.
Right.
So is that something that you practice and think about ahead of time, you know?
absolutely, that goes on a little bit more with, and I love that you know when you said a show, it's a show. You know, sometimes you'll just get like a medley of tunes together, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, when I do a cover of Squeeze, you know, I do
Tempted by the fruit of another year. I'm tempted, but the truth is discovered. What's been going on?
and then you can kind of jump in immediately into, you know, it's like,
I gotta be honest, I think you
jumps right back into.
Cause I'm tempted by the fruit of another, yeah.
Or you know,
Purple rain.
you know, and it's just like all these things are in the same key. And sometimes you can do it as a joke, but sometimes you can seamlessly incorporate songs like right into one another. You know.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I think we have a pregnant woman break.
All right.
She's going to get the mail, see the neighbors. Nice.